Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Dota 2 Canada Cup Season 7 group stages. We are here with our first winners game of the day. It is Views6, or Evernova S as they were formerly called, versus Digital Chaos here in a best-of-1 series. This will probably be our closest match of the entire day as we progress through this best-of-1 between two very strong squads. Evernova S, they played up against DC in the qualifiers and got bodied, handled, if you will, with relative ease from that DC squad. A 40-minute series of 2 games was had, and it did not go well for Evernova S, so they're looking to get back into it now as they will play up against them in this best-of-1 series where anything can happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Mott. Joining me today, as always, is my Mott to my Mott Packs, of course. Trent, he is with me, as well as Lurker Derp, my longtime friend and stats lady. She will provide all of that information that you were so desperately looking for. And of course, as we jump into the game, it is going to be a good one. We're here on Moonduck TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Trent, how you feeling about this one, man? How are you?
I'm seeing a newbie opener here from the Views. Views from the 6.
Gross.
We're rocking the Doom Lion, man.
Don't talk to me about newbie.
This is newbie classic, man.
Don't ever talk to me or my son again, Trent. No, I don't know, dude. I know newbie was on like a 29 game win streak and they lost to OG, and I was like, okay, cool, that happened. Excellent.
Yeah, some OG Dota, representing. Trying to knock that down. Crit, best NA player. Crit and Moo representing NA.
Crit is
honorary.
The best NA player. Crit is an NA player through and through, and he knows it. Everyone else knows it. If you don't watch NA Dota, you don't understand. But listen, we have a couple of honorary NA players, and I feel like at this point, Saksa is probably one of them. I think you might agree with that.
I mean, he certainly will be, once they win the major.
Yeah,
right?
the NA America. DC is going to be the full NA roster, all of them turning American. But first they have to get through, at least in this series, Evernova S or Views6. Do we just call them Views6 from now on? Because everyone knows them by Evernova S. But do we just call them Jimmy's team, or like Yuar's team, or Way2's team? What do we call them, dude?
I don't know. I was kind of digging Views from the 6.
Views from the 6. Is that what it's actually called? I thought it was Views 6.
No, I don't know. It's just Views 6.
Dude, what's wrong with you? Come on.
I don't know. Alright, well, where are we now? Yawar doesn't get to play Invoker. It's banned out. Alchemist is gone. Death Prophet's banned out by themselves.
Team Quest Nutrition. That's a good name. Alright,
that is pretty good.
That's classic Jimmy right there. We'll use that, maybe.
Why he's so fast, man. Those nutrition bars. Seeing those jukes in the trees?
Yeah, he's good at that. So when I was casting with Melanie, he's just like, I just want to see a Jamie moment. That was the entire thing that he was talking about during the cast between them and DC. He got to see it, but I mean, I don't. Well, no, because they've known each other for a while. I don't blame him for wanting that, but I want to see a bit more than a Jimmy moment from Views6 here in this game. I want to see them actually win. I think I don't want to see. I don't necessarily like. We're not rooting for them, over Digital Chaos, but I like to see them put up a fight. That's what I'm kind of getting at here for the most part. So,
well. I think a lot of their games, at least in the classical sense, always used to seem to hinge on Yawar and like what hero he got. And so far, the only ones that he's played recently that are still left would be the Queen or the Tinker. And obviously, with Tinker, you need quite a bit, a big old network around it if you want to make your whole strategy come together. DC, on the other hand, yeah, they still have what is most likely their mid hero to go, but this draft looking pretty solid.
It's very
Beastmaster, plenty of vision.
It's not super early game oriented, but it's pretty early game oriented for Digital Chaos. Because
it doesn't even have like a big window where you're ever quite like, all right, they've all fallen off completely. Like pretty relevant heroes and skill sets could last them throughout many stages of the game.
I would agree with that. I think so. Yeah, I mean, the only one that I'm kind of concerned about late game is Tusk, but even then, he's fine because of Walrus Punch and his sigil and all that. And Gyrocopter, obviously, if he gets off a good start, he can have a good, strong late game. He's not the best late game carry in the world, but he's still very strong. But they have the best thing for early game, which is a Beastmaster. Because if a Beastmaster gets off to a fast start, which he should, if he's put in the offlane, which I imagine is where they're going to send him, he'll be in a good spot. But they pick up a Morphling coming out. We saw this previously. This was how Shazam dealt with Digital Chaos's lineup, by going for a Morphling. Obviously, they have the Elder Titan to combo with it, but
I was actually thinking about that too.
It's not
been
banned out, by the way.
Some sort of a hero, but not gonna be happening in this game.
You don't think Elder Titan for well, I guess not, because you have a Doom line.
Just the lanes.
Yeah, because they already have the Darkseer offlane Doom line support duo. It wouldn't make sense. You're right.
I thought we might get him in one of the first couple of games, but maybe we'll see him tonight. I'd like to see him.
How's In America, how's like Shazam the only team that picks Elder Titan?
I don't know, and then they 2-0, well, they 2-1 DC,
2-1
I think,
DC.
but they won both games with it, so...
And Blaze was telling them, he was just like, don't pick Elder Titan in the winner's bracket. You're going to beat Dragon Deal, no issues. You're going to get to the grand final, wait for it there. Like, at least use it in one game in the grand finals. Proceeded to get dumpster in the grand finals against DC. I'm just like, maybe they would have lost in the grand finals anyways, but you have to think like, okay, well, if you save your strat, then maybe you're in a better spot. It was just kind of, it was silly to see them using the winners bracket finals. Like, congratulations, you guaranteed nothing for them. And Brax came into the lobby and he's like, what do we get for the winners bracket advantage? And then Stats by Leo, the admin, is like, congratulations, you guys get pride. I'm like, that's the worst thing you could possibly say to a team going into grand finals. Because they didn't get to see Dragneel because they forfeited out. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole different story. That's
all right,
cool.
that's nice.
What? It's a PL Morphling. All right, I don't know, man.
He'll have to be active, right?
It's a lot of split pushing for sure. But yeah. I mean, like early game PL is okay, but he's like not the best.
Jimmy has to hit like massive earth spikes to make vacuum valuable. It's like the only skill they have that's gonna combo up at all.
Kind of wait for him a little bit.
I guess yeah, for the damage, but. For chaining anything together. Now we get the Weehaw Lone Druid. All right.
Actually, that's disgusting. Weehaw Lone Druid is probably
is.
the most like frightening thing to play against. If you're like a pub player and you see Weehaw pick Lone Druid, it's just like when you run, you're like, all right, okay, I'll ban it. See you guys later.
Yeah, PL is just like this hero. Like the Puck, they were a bit like DC banned out the Puck, and then Views actually took out the Queen of Pain themselves. So then you go for the PL. Generally one of the very survivable mids. Doesn't have really too much of a problem with the Tusk. You know, classically picked to dumpster invoker players, but. Not such a lovely matchup up against the Lone Druid. All you can do is try and Spirit Lance and
Spirit Lance what though? The bear or the Druid himself? Like
the Druid. Yeah.
I mean, if you do that, the bear is still just harassing you completely.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
And the thing is, he's gonna get such fast experience that he's gonna get his entangling claws. And you get entangled, you're just like, well, I guess I'm taking a lot of damage, if not dead. So that's fun. I feel like this draft definitely favors Digital Chaos just based on early game. This game goes past 20 minutes. I think you and I both know who's gonna. Well, not 20, maybe 30. This game goes past 30 minutes. I think you and I both know who's going to win, but I mean, at least I think we're on the same page there.
It's like, I mean, obviously conditions mattering in some sense. Like, if Morphling gets a little bit out of control, right, you can do decent. PL gets hard to handle. They don't have the best chase down potential. Like, they have the Tusk and the Beastmaster, but your Blink comes a little bit later. I have hope. Not a lot of it, though.
He has hope, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, man. This is a tough game to call. This is a really tough. I just think DC's their meta draft is more sound. You know, you like Beastmaster, meta hero, Phoenix, meta hero, Lone Druid for Weehaw. It's a meta hero and player at the same time. And then Gyrocopter's just solid, and Tusk is just a solid hero. You know, like Morphling, who's okay, but he's had his ups and downs. Same for the PL mid, which I imagine is what it's going to be, as it is going to be. You are playing it. I'm concerned, man. I'm really concerned for Views6. Listen, I want them to succeed. I don't necessarily want them to win. I want to have a close Dota game because we haven't had one yet so far today. But
that's true.
I'm
been
concerned.
Pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna happen though. Boris is gonna be playing the Darks here as he just loads in. Boris is having a tough time getting to the game on time, man. He's like smoking that cigarette. He's taking his sweet time with it. He's like taking a couple drags every like 10 seconds, every 10 freaking minutes. It seems like he comes back. I'm not even like, I don't even know if Boris smokes. I might be just completely wrong about this, and he could just be taking a piss or something, and I'm just like calling him a smoker or something. I don't know. I'm losing it, dude. If you haven't noticed.
It's okay. We're done the pause. We're in. So everything's fine now.
So I told this to people before at the hub. Greg and I had to deal with a 2-hour-long pause at one point. I have no idea how we survived that. Do you think you and I could deal with a 2-hour-long pause and vamp for that long?
We do what we had to do. I don't think you do that these days. No one does that anymore, you know?
No, we
now
do.
We're into the AFK screen.
It wasn't like that wasn't like, you know, 2 years ago. That was like a year ago we did that. You know, we didn't take a pause.
It was definitely like 2 years at this point. When's the last time Greg was in a cast, buddy?
Good point. Good call.
I did like a charity game with Greg last year, and
he was like miserable the entire time. He's
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't want to be here. I'm Greg. I don't like this. He specifically said this at the major hub. He's just like, screw Dota 2 casting. I'm like, oh, you mean that thing that got you your career with where you are today? Yeah, that thing. Greg's an idiot.
Don't worry. You guys can all flame him when the Overwatch comes out. I'm sure he'll cast that. It'll be great.
No, Greg's not gonna cast anything, dude. He's so lazy. Greg just sits in his office, pretends to do
He got his
things.
nice cushy job over at BTS
Dude,
now.
I swear to God, he honestly sits in his office the entire time, goes back home, comes back, and then he's just like, all right, cool, what do I have to do now? Greg is long since, his biggest performance to date was in the Manila Major Rumble, when he took out like 5 people.
Oh, I thought you were going to say live and uncensored.
Well, I mean, that too, but that wasn't really...
And when he started without you. But anyway.
We don't want to talk about that.
No, we don't want to go there.
No. All right, well, we're going to jump into the game. It is going to be, right now, you are going up against Weehaw mid. We've seen what Weehaw can do against a mid like you are in this scenario, and we can see how well he'll have an advantage, but it does not mean that this is going to be a free lane for Weehaw by any stretch. It will be difficult for Yuar, but at some point, maybe we see Yuar do a bit better for himself. Maybe get some help coming out from the Doomu jungle for Way 2, who's already picked up the Hellbear Smasher with the Thunderclap. It's almost level 2. I'll be able to get good farm top lane against Moo, at least for now. Demon's getting right-click down Orb of Venom or something like that for Moo, but he's still chasing Demon down pretty heavily. No boots of speed. I think it really comes down to how the PL and the Morphling start. If they get a good start, we could see them transition pretty decently into the mid-game, but it's going to be tough because they have to deal with a Gyrocopter who will probably get level 6 and rotate and look for a kill somewhere.
Yeah, and they're also not going to be able to zone Moo out too easily. Like, you can see Way 2 coming over now, so
they need
this will be
else.
affecting his jungling.
They do have the movement slow of Thunderclap for 25%. If they get off an Earth Spike and Hex, if they're level 2, then yes. I think if they have level 2 online, they can kill him. Otherwise, I don't think so. Because Waveform does a lot of damage. They have Earth Spike, they have the Thunderclap move slow with the Hex on top of it. There's a possibility for them killing him, but he's very close to his tower, so now, I mean, like, if they go for a kill, there's the TP threat always available for Digital Chaos. Anyway.
Yeah, mid lane's probably not going to be seeing too much action this game. It's not for a while. If anything, it will just be Wii getting like a root into some sort of a kill onto UR, so...
He's doing really well, though. 8 last hits for UR. And to 3 of the lone druid. I mean, again, it's very early. This is before he has Entangling Claws or anything like that, but... He's doing pretty well. UR is having a great time CSing. He's going to have his battle pretty soon.
Yeah, the bear's dropping really low as well. But, of course, resummons aren't too costly this early on. It's unlikely they can get, like, a surprise kill on the bear.
I thought he just used one, but I think it was just his level up. Okay.
Demon's hanging by with that DD room, but it doesn't look like they can get the angle.
There's no vision here for the Radiant team, but they might have scouted out Demon going down with this Observer Ward towards the camp, the pole camp. But we'll see. We'll see if that's actually the case. This is a very important game, obviously. A lot of big-name players. This one feels like an NAL game almost. But meanwhile, Moo's going to get chased down. Here comes Demon looking for that Hex up. He's going to find it. This might be first blood. They do have Waveform ready to go. There's the Earth Spike. Moo's in trouble. He'll go down. It's going to be Justin getting first blood. Way2 will take a couple of tower hits, but it's going to be Moo going down early. A bit surprising, but Demon comes in. There's no vision coming out for the Radiant team, and so Demon walks up with no issues and gets first blood. And gets him up to 700 gold. Actually, he gets the assist gold. He'll buy himself his Boots of Speed. A good start for Views6.
Yeah, this ward really paying off here, just keeping their eyes on Moo the whole time. They know they need to secure as much as they can for Justin early on this Morphling. Whole draft kind of hinging on him and Yawar. Like, this, as much as Boris can do as a Darkseer, he just doesn't have, like, the combo plays. There's really nothing that's going to be up there with him. Like, he's going to be building a mech pretty much this game, and then he's going to be vacuuming and hoping that the Earth Spike hits at the same time.
They have to get off to a good start here, I feel like, for Views6. Otherwise, this game gets out of control. Alright.
I like this. Moo's just gone in the jungle. It's like, alright, time to go. Yeah,
Does he have an
Boris
Iron
kinda
Talon?
garbage,
He's going to
but-
buy one. He's going to buy an Iron... Excuse me, an Iron Talon. Take some time, but... you are still leading CS in the mid lane with 20 to 15. He's going to do a Spirit Lance at a Weehaw and just threatening him. And like you said, this is what he was looking for. You know, Spirit Lance the bear, especially with Demolish up, which he doesn't have yet. Ooh, good Savage Roar. Takes the Illusion Rune, too. It does not actually provide the illusions for Weehaw, but it's just annoying because it would have refilled Yuar's bottle. That was nicely done from Weehaw.
That was pretty cute. Top lane. Looks like Saska's just like hanging up here. No vision. Oh, actually, yeah, they still do have that nice deep one, but
Yeah, they saw that. They saw the TP or rotation from Sox.
as long as it's not this part, can be tougher without someone here. But a couple more levels up. This is good, right? Level 4, 2 points up with your creatures here, little critters. Give Moo a little bit more vision.
Yeah, Moo's farmed, or he's fine in terms of experience, at least in comparison to the Darkseer who just died, and I missed it. I think he denied himself. Could
Yeah,
be
he was
wrong.
just jungling.
Yeah, I
no
thought
big
so.
deal.
So he's not got any room, but Demon is leeching experience now under the tower, and this is going to be traded for the Darkseer's experience. Demon is ahead of the Darkseer in experience. That's how bad this lane is going. But top lane, here we go. Misery rotates in. And immediately gets Infernal Blade as the Sunray was going. They wait for him, and all of a sudden they bring down the Tusk easily. And they're looking for more. Misery has no Icarus dive. Way 2, he doesn't have his Infernal Blade. The Shockwave, that might have gotten the kill. 138 HP. The Shockwave will do 160 damage. After reduction, that probably still would have killed him, so that was awkward. I think he had the mana for it too. Maybe he had just gotten it for way 2. I'm not sure why he stopped there. He could have gotten that kill. Maybe he thought, okay, there was an Icarus dive up. He wasn't sure how he got into the lane. I didn't see how exactly it started out, but call down now. It's going to be on a Demon bottom. He's in trouble. Resolution looking for the Rocket Barrage. Good Earth Spike, Surge away, Snowball. It's going to barely not catch in time. Now there's going to be the Hex up. And do they have the damage? Resolution's pretty tanky. He'll be able to take a couple of tower hits, and that's going to be it. So good effort on the part of Resolution down bottom to find that kill. He's still leading CS, but he won't be able to get that kill that maybe he needed to provide him enough net worth to be top with the, of course, Morphling, who's now up there in terms of the net worth chart.
Yeah, nice little save there. And again, the Baron goes top, and Noir can't even do anything. He just leaves. He's like, well, I'll just get Savage Roared.
And he gets
even with his
entangled.
Doom coming down, like, that's so rare that there's actually a hero that, despite having support securing your runes, it doesn't actually do anything. Because you're just going to get Savage Roared.
Sure, Savage Roar is a fair ability. Definitely a fair ability. But he's even with the CS and the Bear, which I think is more than most people could say when they play up against Weeha's Lone Druid.
They definitely am surrounded right now, though.
Oh, Sox is going to come in. He's got Snowball. He's level 2 Ice Shards. Doppelganger's available. Nicely dodged, but he's actually... His real one is going to get caught with an entangle, and he's going to fall. He's going to Fairy Fire up, and will keep him alive for a moment longer. Weeha's behind the tower, and they're going to rotate the Morphling in. Sunray immediately gets canceled. Misery trouble. Infernal Blade. Do they have the damage? They absolutely do, and Weeha has to Savage Roar himself to get out alive. They're going to purge him, though. Way 2 gets the Purge Creep. Wait for it. Beautifully done coming out from Views6. He gets the Purge Creep for way 2. And that provides more than enough move slow to get the kill. The Courier comes up.
A Courier? Hello?
They see it. It's going to get taken 2 right clicks, but it will survive. The salve was coming out from Resolution. Miss Microed is actually now going bottom. That was real awkward.
All right.
Views6 are doing it, man. They've got
Yeah,
a
they really
1,000
are.
lead.
I mean, Morphling rotations.
I like it. And he can find Moo here, but Moo is a roar. Kill those boars. Get that extra gold. He misses the waveform on a Moo, but he does get both boar kills. So
Yeah, that's
he
like
has
75
Shreds,
gold.
Aquila, Wand. Lincoln's should be your first item because of Roar. I think.
Yeah, still seems to be the generally accepted build-up. Just kind of one of those things. A lot of Medusa people, you know, same idea. Just kind of need it.
Uh-oh, Moo's in trouble. Hex is going to come out. Good Sunray, but it's not going to do enough. The Infernal Blade is going to fly through momentarily. I don't even need it. The waveform comes out. TP from Sox is too late. They have to use the Icarus dive, and now Sox gets Infernal Bladed. Ice Shards will catch way 2, but no follow-up damage coming in from Digital Chaos as they're sitting back and realizing that move's not there. Big pickup again coming out from that defensive trialing that you thought would have been broken up by 8 minutes into the game, but they get it done.
I didn't get... Were they smoked? I don't think they were.
No, they weren't. I don't
It's just
think so.
very surprising to see these rotations successful against a Beastmaster. Like,
He
he's
should
got the
know,
Hawk
yeah,
going,
the Hawk, yeah, he should
but
know.
it was up near the tower, and
Moo's having an unexpectedly rough game for who he is as a player. I think you and I
part of
both
that
think
is because Justin did kill his summons as well, so we can't like spread out the boars or anything as well, even when he's suspecting a gank. So
yeah, Justin's
overall good play.
Justin on the Morphling is having a very good game for sure. I would agree with that. And
Well, he's got Midas mid.
the Darkseer is going to have to catch up. He's level 6 now. Midas is going to be coming out for the Lone Druid. He's going to send the bear back, and it's going to be up at 8 minutes. So that's the difference maker right there, and it's going to provide them that late game potential where we talked about if the game goes past 30 minutes, then maybe you have Views6 in a very good position, but that Lone Druid will have to be a tough cookie to crack if you're a Views6 in this situation. It's not going to be easy. But
Yeah,
here's a
some
smoke.
teams, like Lone Druid, obviously at the height of his power was definitely a first phase pick or ban, and just coming in last patch, and even like near the end of the patch when he was still being picked quite a bit. So generally teams would always be able to develop a whole game plan where you like want to beat out the Radiance and everything, but picked so late.
Moose sees you are with the Hawk, and he knows it's happening. The Borslow comes out, and they just have to
so good.
commit themselves to a 25 gold kill, which was almost denied. The boar itself. It's going to give room for the bear to go to work on the tower now, and so that Smoke of Deceit gank is not fruitful. They'll find a stack here for War. He'll try to take it, but I don't... Oh, they're going to be a counter smoke for Digital Chaos. They're going to head over, and UR might be actually be in some trouble here. The Hawks getting a vision of Demon and UR. Moo's going to walk up. He's going to have to doppelganger away from Aurora, and he will do so. He wants that double damage rune. The Aurora comes out, and they got the range, and now UR just finds himself with a mistake going down. And they give the double damage rune up to Resolution as well. Big mistake to use that doppelganger too early from UR. He gets caught, and he's dead for 25 seconds. That could have been a lot better. And he makes a mistake, and so the smoke goes the way of DC, in fact.
Yeah, that was a really weird engagement, but the Hawk overall just helping once again from the Beastmaster. Typically you expect him to live just by doppelganger over the cliff or something, but he doesn't know exactly where the position of those Radiant Heroes are.
Surge up. They're going to find... Whoa, finger from Demon, but Resolution TP's back in. I don't think Demon cares if he dies. He's going to avoid the call down. He might actually make it out alive here. Resolution's still chasing him down. No Surge. He has another Earth Spike. He'll probably TP with this. Yeah, he's going to go for it. Rocket Barrage down. They need 2 more right clicks. Well, just the one with double damage rings, so... If it was without a double damage, he might have survived there. But
yeah, I think he would have.
Soxa TP's in. It's a snowball. Won't be able to save his tier 1. This is a back and forth game. Very even. Views6 had a 2,000 net worth lead. After that fight bottom, they only had a 1,000 net worth lead. But still very close, I think, Trent.
Yeah, and kind of as expected, you lose the mid tower. Just leaving for any moment. It's basically just like up against a Dragon Knight or something. Got a lone Druid, so he's going to pound that down pretty quick. So 1 tower apiece right now. Could consider it a victory for the Radiant side. I guess you'd call that mid tier 1 for the Dire. A little bit more important than your offlane tier 1 for the Radiant. And now, I think you do definitely want to try and hold this tower as much as you can. They don't have the best pushing power, but the smoke's coming right now from Views. So getting as many heroes down bottom for DC is going to be pretty crucial for them, as well as the vision overall from the Beastmaster. Nice placement here. See if he spots anything that kind of tip off this smoke, maybe just from Yawar.
He knows Yawar's there, and I think that means that they know where... Like, everyone else is missing off the map. This is some 5-man aggression. If Yawar did not come down here...
Yeah, and the Morphling, so...
And Weeha's been scouting. They're too far away to get the Hex off, and so they're going to go for the tower. TP's going to come in. They're looking for to defend. This might not be the best idea for Digital Chaos to defend this. They have the Doom here ready to go. Resolution's going to come in. Waitu's going to walk up. Doom will go. Call down does get off in time. Now the wave 4 misses on Resolution. The Sunray. Koshu, Justin in trouble. He's going to have to strike the morph to surge forward. Looking for this kill. The Supernova coming out as well. They really want Rezo. Now he's going to go to work on the Supernova. Roar's going to come out, and he gets off the Supernova in time. Still strength morphing. It's a 1-for-2 trade. They've already lost at least UR here, as well as Demon. They're going to find the Morphling in turn as well with the Sunray coming out. He'll use his agility treads and then go to intelligence treads. Last tick will go down to the Sunray. 3-for-1 exchange. It's too telegraphed. That fight going from Views6 was too much of a dive. And really great roar from Moo to save the life of the Supernova, which could have turned things in the favor of Views6. Does not actually happen though, and so really good engagement from Digital Chaos.
Yeah, that fight and that objective for them would have been so massive. Like coming down there, getting rid of that tower, trying to cut off and choke out this Radiant side jungle. Like if they could have gotten that tower and started putting some vision up, they have escapable heroes in the PL and the Morphling, so they can farm really safely down in this, like from the Dire side into the Radiant jungle. Then you're going to be slowing down the farm on the lone Druid, as well as even just the Gyrocopter too. So the fact they lose that fight, I mean, that is just... It's crushing, really, for the side of Views and their overall game plan.
That miss of the waveform really hurt them. They needed that waveform to hit, and if that hits, that Doom probably ticks him down low enough to get the kill, and it stops the farm for the Morphling, who is still top of the net worth for the time being, and he's very close to his Lincoln Sphere. Well, he needs the Ultimate Orb first, but now there is a book 1 up for Moo, despite having a, I wouldn't say poor start, he had a little bit of a rough start going on that Beastmaster. He has his full book 1 now, he'll get his book 2 momentarily if he gets another tower or another fight going his way. Justin's going to have to run it out, or replicate out, as we have almost got that Intangible Proc coming out with the PSD or PRD, whatever you call it. Pseudo random distribution. And I feel like DC are in a good spot. They have a net worth lead now, they have an experience lead, and they have their timing coming in pretty soon here.
It's basically just waiting on we, get up and towards that little old relic. Pretty close, 1,200 gold away from that, and then of course the recipe on top of that, so should be fine for him. No one else really with like those clutch items, just the Necro 3 from Moo, you could say, but other than that, they just want to keep up some good vision, make sure there's not too much aggression coming from Views, and maybe go for some sort of a smoke pick-off with a Roar. This Invis rune, fortunately, pretty hard to set something up here. Soxka's nearby, but
Oh, Moo does want to go, though. He's got Roar, and the perfect target would be Morphling. He can just Strength Morph, and he's going to do so.
Oh, that Necro, though.
Call down the Necro using his Mana Burn. Oh, my lord, the damage of the Snowball. Does he go on the right target? I don't think it needs to, though. He's going to be able to fall nonetheless, and Sunray comes out, and they're going to turn their attention towards Demon. Axes won't do enough damage. Moo's out of mana now, and it looks like they will both survive. Way too trying to
the Necros are going.
They really want Demon. He's going to survive with a TP out, though. That's how important that Necro book is for Digital Chaos and for Moo. Getting that Necro onto the Morphling means you get a kill. If they don't have, the Mana Burn's not there, and they can't find that pick-off.
Yeah, that was nice, too, from Soxa. Just, like, trying to get further in. Try to get the secondary kill on that one with the Demon, but not quite close enough. Oh, I didn't know that. Tusk is his most played hero. Fall Pro matches with 22.
He has played that hero a fair bit. And it's going to be the hero to, I think, close the gap and find some initiations they really need, because at this point they're kind of lacking on a Blink Initiator, especially without Blink Roar just yet. And Moo's going to have his Necro 2 coming soon. So the Tusk is going to be very important as to how they initiate. So at one point there was the top of the net worth Morphling. Now they kind of have to rely on the fact that, okay, well, we have our Vac Wall ready to go. We have our mech up, and now we could use a couple levels on Boris. We could use a couple more items on UR, but we're getting there. We have enough to team fight now with mech up and with Vac Wall. I think if you're DC, you kind of have to be wary of a Smoke of Deceit gang coming up from Views6, which they have one. Demon's got it up ready to go. It looks like they're about to use it. I thought about it for a moment, but it looks like they're just going to go back to farming instead.
They have great vision in some of these classic smoke spots, too. Like where the bird's sitting right now. Somewhere that it's not going to be spotted.
They just, no, that was a... Whose scan was that?
Nice
That was
dire
a
side scan spotting
dire
the
scan.
Ancients.
Yeah, they know DC's over here doing the Ancients, but it's going to be too late to get there, I think. Flat Cannon's going to be up in 5 seconds. This will be the full stack going for Resolution, which will provide his full S and Y. So they know they can't contest this. They're going to head bottom instead. There's a couple of wards scouting out the fact that there are heroes down here for the Radiant team. And you can see Misery already heading into the tree line.
Look at Weeha's positioning, too.
He's like on the edge.
He's standing. Yeah,
I mean, he's got the bear to scout things out. They can't find him. If they're going to find anybody, it's going to be the tier 1 tower and a hero under the tree line, which is Misery, but he can Icarus dive out. And so this leaves Resolution to get his full S and Y almost. He gets the Ogre Clip at the very least. Diving past, Way2's going to find Misery, but he actually TP's out in time. That was too close to call. They'll take the tier 1 tower, which is great. Trade is going to come out, though, as Moo is going to have to force up the cliff. TP would not be in time, and so he's going to get the tier 1 tower, and that's free. That's a 1 for, like, everybody is down bottom, and Moo's up top, and so the farm is being spread way more effectively for Digital Chaos than it is for Views6 at this point. But they're going to go into Roach now.
More recovery, though. This looks kind of good, right? I mean, you look at all this Radiant side vision. It's all focused up in the top lane. They're dominating this dire side jungle, but they have lost this Roshan. It does look like they won't be able to contest it.
Yeah, look at the map is pretty much split. There's like a third of it is covered by DC's vision, and then or 2/3 of that is covered. Oh dear lord, this could not be a good fight. There's the Doom out onto Misery, can't get the Supernova off. They kind of have to stop fighting. And they're gonna get off the Roche kill. They get the Aegis. It gets denied by the creep by the bear. Boris gets rolled up. Now there's gonna be Way2 going down as well. They got out of the pit and they did not focus on getting the Aegis picked up by UR or anybody. They have to wait for him away. UR had to doppelganger out as well. They get the Roche kill, but it is denied, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plays were made.
Wow. Okay, I didn't even
Use
see
the
it.
Savage Roar. Just forced him away. Justin just had to do nothing but slink. Oh man, that's awful.
And now Digital Chaos finally starting to put the pressure on after that Roche engagement. They get the Radiance burn. Bring the bear back in. I think they actually TP'd him home to get that Radiance up and ready to go. They're going to the tier 3 tower now. High ground defense is there. You have to be careful if you're DC. There is that Vac Wall combo with the Eurospike on top of the waveform to do damage. And so I don't think they take this tier 3 tower. I don't think they commit that hard. They're going to get the bear, though. The Infernal Blade will come out. Resummons available. It should be anyway. But he won't be able to use it if it's dead or if it's getting attacked. I don't think they even got the last hit on that, sadly. Adaptive Strike onto one of the boars, and so they will keep their tier 3 alive. Now with the Veil picked up for Misery, they can try to go back in on this. It's a mecha to go through. The replicate's up, they see. There's a Beastmaster, they know it's not their enemy. It's just an illusion. So that is a huge engagement. That Roche denial, or at least the Aegis denial coming out, it does not allow Views6 to farm. It actually really ends up making so their tier 3 tower is pretty low. But here we go, Smoke to the Sea coming out from Views6. They're going to try to find somebody. Resolution would be a perfect target, but he knows something is up. I think they smoked maybe right underneath the sword. Could be wrong about that. It looks like DC are counter-smoking. They know exactly where they are.
Oh, they're baiting this out.
They're going to get caught. Resolution, he knows something's up. Now he's going to get hexed up. No Aegis, obviously. The Earthspike onto the bear, but now you have to leave. Demon will probably be the martyr for the cause. Sunray's going to go. They've got the rocket barrage. He's going to fall. On the other side, Roar's up. Yawar is getting caught. Mana burn. Not to mention the damage coming up from the right clicks. They lose 2. And Digital Chaos, they bait that smoke beautifully and find themselves 2 picks very easily. This game seems really
and now you
hard.
just have a Beastmaster and a Lone Druid, right? Like, every fight you lose. Thankfully, it's down here. I mean, it's probably the best possible spot. The only other spot would be in the Radiant Fountain, I guess. In terms of, like, losing fights, or maybe you won't lose an objective, so... They can just kind of spread out, farm a little bit. It does look like they'll still secure this bottom tower here, but the push is very real from the side of DC. And Justin's still trying to do his thing. Lincoln Sphere, 1,500 gold. But what's even a shotgun going to do if he gets that done?
Not much. He needs to kind of fight with his team in order for that to be effective. I don't really know what he goes for, honestly. I think he asked to go for shotgun.
They actually just killed his replicate, and now... Oh, that was nice. Oh, wait,
Savage Roar? Savage Roar? He didn't use it. He could have. I think he's paying too much attention to what's going on down bottom than he is to what's going on in the top lane. But he just pushes this out with his Radiance Burn. And they continue to go to work on the tier 2s or tier 3s wherever they want to go. They have Aegis still, I believe. No, they denied it. Just kidding. I forgot about that. I mean, they have just... And it is going to be Justin going for a shotgun, like you mentioned. But it is ways away. And they need to defend here in order for them to get the shotgun. Otherwise, this game probably just ends. The high ground defense is serious. You have Vacuum, you have the wall ready to go. So DC probably don't want to, you know, bite off more than they can chew without the BKB for resolution. Just back up immediately. I don't know, man. This game seems very hard right now for Views6. Even though they're not that far behind. Well, 10,000 everything's pretty far behind.
Yeah, their whole draft kind of relied on, like, being decent at that mid-game point, where you're not well behind. You don't necessarily have to be mega ahead. You'd love to be ahead, because you have a Morphling and a PL, but the whole point would be spreading the map, getting the Sperm, trying to get these 2, like, duo cores up, and maybe even smoking around with, like, way 2 Demon and your Darkseer here from Boris. Like, using those as 3 smokes. Maybe your wires with them, and then the Replicate's kind of tailing around, so that's how you see newbie play this style, right? Like, they have Hao just on the Morphling. He's roaming around one side of the map, always either on a Spectre or a Morphling, where he can just come back into these smoke ganks and make stuff happen, try and keep the pressure up, but still split push everywhere else. They never really got that pressure to actually be able to apply.
Well, here it is. They have a blink now on Boris, and this is going to be the make or break situation. They have to smoke here, and they're going to. And if they don't find anything with this game probably is even harder. And Mu is invised up, and he's probably going to break the smoke, which is even more disastrous. Yeah, he's going to break the Morphling smoke. Well, he might have not known. They know that he's up here. They saw him use the replicate ability somewhere behind enemy lines, and Moo's just gonna walk up, break the smoke, and they're like, okay, we have no detection. That is the most unfortunate timing you could possibly ask for if you are a Views6 player or a fan. You're like, we have this, we have everything. They even use the scan, and they know that Mu is there. They know that he was invis at some point in time. That's the most frustrating thing you could possibly ask for. That's got to be tilt-worthy, honestly. That sucks.
Yeah. Oh, okay, we get wrapped on here? Maybe? This would be huge for them.
The Savage Roar, avoid a little bit. They've got back ready to go. There's the finger. They need to back. Spirit Lance will go. There it is. Vacuum back in, and this could be a kill. This should be a kill. He's low. He'll end up falling. And they're not going to counter-initiate. They got there too late. DC were smoked up, but it was too late to the party, and their main source of damage, the Gyrocopter, who has a BKB SMY, is down bottom pushing in. How much did they get for that kill?
That kill on the PL.
1,300 kill gold going their way, plus the exchange of about 1,800 in total. And most of the gold going the way of the Darkseer, as well as the, I guess, Lion. But, uh-oh.
Now way too low.
Roar comes out. Demon's going to get blown up. Next still alive, but he'll die inevitably. Way 2 gets the Doom off before going down, but this fight has already ended, and now it's going to have to be away from Justin into the tree line. They know that he's there. Beautifully done from Soxa. Inevitably, they actually get 2 kills, even though it was a 4 versus 5 engagement. Or at least that's what I thought it was. Wow. That's how far ahead they are, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, what is the total difference now at this point? 12k, 12.5k. They're rocking 500 GPM, so it's a little bit hard. But again, the Blink, the Darkseer. If only they had some things to combo, right? Like that's one of the biggest.
Punch and he's in trouble. They'll break it with the Lincoln Sphere, however. And it looks like maybe Sox has dove too far, but there's no follow-up. Now avoids the Spirit Lance nicely with that snowball. Beautifully done from Sox. Inevitably, they actually get 2 kills, even though it was a 4 versus 5 engagement. Or at least that's what I thought it was. Wow. That's how far ahead they are, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, what is the total difference now at this point? 12k, 12.5k. They're rocking 500 GPM, so it's a little bit hard. But again, the Blink, the Darkseer. If only they had some things to combo, right? Like that's one of the biggest comeback mechanics in the game. Vacuum plus AoE.
Good vac wall. Earthspike comes out on top of it, moves low. Now they're going to wait for him in, but the Supernova was placed beautifully on top of the ball by Misery. He just destroys everyone, and that's it. GG's called right after. And that was their best effort at a high ground defense, and that's all they could gather up. And like you literally had mentioned it a second before it happened, was if only they had something to combo with the Darkseer. Nope. Earthspike was not it.
Earthspike waveform, but that's not enough.
Boris is not happy. He what faces. So,
the Darkseer pick was just like so awful this game. Like, it's not necessarily picking up this early, but the fact that what Darkseer tends to do is he can put pressure on the lane, right? Because you want to be slowing down their carrying their farm. But they had a support who was able to deal with that, and the Tusk and the Phoenix, as well as a gyrocopter, so he's ranged, so he doesn't get as harassed up with the ion shells. Let
me ask you a question. Let me pose a question here. Imagine if it was Axe instead of a Darkseer. If they could run it somehow in that off-lane role, and if you can get an experience, maybe even doing a duel in off-lane. Can you imagine how much more work an Act would have done than a Darkseer in this situation, I think? Maybe I'm wrong.
Rotating way too down there, potentially, as well. Like, trying to get... Maybe sacrifice...
anything else.
Get a little bit more, but...
Yeah.
You put more pressure down bottom using, like, Doom Darkseer or
just
Doom
anything else than the solo Darkseer in the offlane who got nothing, really, in the early stage of the game. Not that it wasn't Boris's fault, necessarily. It just came down to the pick, I think, is what you were talking about. But anyway. Digital Chaos will be our first team, unsurprisingly, up into the winner bracket for Dota 2 Canada Cup in the Group D region. We still have, I think, 2 more games to go. It'll be, first of all, Views6 versus the winner of the next series, which will be Enemy GG versus Drinking Boys. That's the next game. And then it'll be the winner of that series versus Views6. And that will determine who goes back to the upper bracket. It's tough to think about. My brain's trying to process all of it as we progress through here in Dota 2 Canada Cup. My name is Want. I will not get back into the ring, so please stop asking me. You know where to find us over on Twitter. Of course, this is Moonduck TV as well. We have another raffle for Loot Market coming here shortly. Congratulations to Digital Chaos for making it in with a 2-0 victory. One over Views6, the other over Drinking Boys. And we'll see them in the playoffs. And of course, for Views6, we have another game for them a little bit later. We'll see you guys in just a moment. Stick around, everybody.